Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the well. I know it's been a minute, but it's a journey that's taking place. There is transformation and transitioning that's taking place, but I am thinking about the woman's soul, excuse me, and how standing still in a storm doesn't necessarily mean you're not moving. Standing still in the storm, yet moving in faith. How about that? How does that sound? Think about it now. As I was writing this just now, I get these thoughts for the woman's soul as I edify and build my own soul. I think there is a woman that may be standing in a storm and not sure if standing still in the storm is the right move or posture. So let me just go over my notes with you real quick. There's a kind of faith that runs, there's a kind of faith that shouts, and then there is a kind of faith that stands. I mean, just stands, right? Not because it's weak, WEAK, not because it has given up, but because it understands timing. Come on, we're talking about standing still in the storm. So the prophet declares, I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower and will watch to see what he, God the Father, will say unto me. That's Habakkuk 2 and 1. Notice the verb I will stand, I will watch, I will see. Standing, watching, and seeing. These are not passive positions, they are disciplined movements of our soul. Standing is not stagnation. When God told Moses at the Red Sea, fear ye not and stand still and see the salvation of the Lord, Exodus 14 and 13. The people were surrounded by a storm behind them, a sea before them. Standing still was not surrender, it was alignment. Sometimes faith doesn't move your feet, instead, it steadies your heart. Waiting is action in heaven. Come on, say that. Waiting is action in heaven. Faith is not always loud. It does not always announce itself. Sometimes it whispers, be still and know that I am God. That's Psalm 46 and 10. Stillness is not silence in the spirit, it is surrender without panic. Have you ever been there? When you choose not to react, not to collapse, not to retaliate, you are moving at a different realm or in a different realm. I will, come on, say that. I will is movement. I'm telling you, I was sitting here at my desk and I was pulling all of this together, my notes, and I was like, how can I reveal that being still is really movement? And then I got a thought that being still in this realm is movement in the heavenly realm. So take courage, my sisters. I will is movement. I will stand. That is a decision. Faith begins with a declaration. Let's look at Isaiah 40:31. But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. Waiting on God brings renewal of our strength. Waiting renews, standing strengthens, watching sharpens. You are not frozen, you are fortified. I really want to express that. You are not frozen, you are fortified. So let's talk about quiet faith, how quiet faith can be louder than shouting. While I will see, while I will and see are actions unspoken, yet its movement not loudly, yet screaming all at the same time. Yes, it is. There is a scream that never leaves the lips, but heaven hears it. There is a scream that never leaves the lips, but heaven hears it. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. That's Exodus 14:14. Stillness can be warfare. Stillness can be warfare. So moving in faith on your terms. Come on, say my terms. You know you have that, right? You have your own terms, no matter what job you're in, what church you're in, what friends you have, what community you're in. You have your own terms. This is where boundaries, that line that sometimes get blurred in relationship or connections or um, relationships or connections with people, right? So now here is the refinement. Faith is not moving on our terms, it's moving in agreement with his timing. Even Jesus modeled this. He that sent me is with me, for I do always those things that please him. That's John 8:29. Sometimes obedience looks like motion. Sometimes obedience looks like restraint. Both, either way, both of them are movement. So there are women who are not running anymore. You've prayed, you cried, you pushed. Now you are standing. Come on, say that. Lay your hand on your heart and say, now I am standing. My God, I said something. Not because you don't care, but because you trust. Like the prophet, you have climbed the tower of expectation. You are watching to see what he, the Father, will say. And even in the storm, even in the silence, even when the answer has not arrived, you are still moving. Remember that you are still moving with the noise, not with panic, but with posture. You're still moving. Now, faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. Hebrews 11:1. Standing is substance, waiting is evidence, trust is motion. No matter what the storm says, how loud the noise get in the storm, how much rustle and bustle is happening around you in your life, stand still. It's okay to be quiet. Oftentimes we feel like we have to clap back. I got to clap back. But I was taking inventory um yesterday while I was out riding, cabin fever, the snow blizzard. But I was taking inventory. When we clap back, when we feel like we have to respond to the storm to feel like we did something or that we got a point across, do you realize how much damage, how much guilt, how much shame, and how much right we have given the enemy in our lives because of our mouths? And I said, wow, God, I said, forgive me, but thank you that standing still was more powerful than it was clapping back at somebody, yelling at somebody, using words that you know are true about a person, but can also kill, steal, and destroy a person. Even though that may not have been the intent, but emotions cause us to flare, clapbacks, hurtful words, true but damaging. But then I asked God, I said, do I want to reap things that I've sowed out of my mouth, even though they are true? Do I want to release havoc and have to reap it later on? I said, nah, God, I'm good. I'm good. And I thank you for that revelation. Hence, why I'm talking about tonight standing still in the storm. Remember, standing is substance. Waiting is evidence. And trust is motion. These are incredible tips, encouragement that I'm giving right now, not just for the person that's listening, but also for me. Because the word says when the enemy, no matter what face he has when he comes in like a flood, what posture he has when he comes in like a flood, and he may come through the most strange, unexpected, mind-blowing person or persons and throw you off, creating a whole tsunami, a 8.8 Richter scale earthquake, a storm so great that everything around you shuts down, everything in you shuts down. And the enemy says, get up and run and do what you need to do. Get up and go. Go handle that. Grab the necessary information, the necessary pieces, and shut all of this down. And he'll tell you, you got the power to shut it down. He'll tell you, you got the power to clap back, to say things, to hurt, to wound. But how many of us know that when we stick our hands in a pond to grab a stone to throw, we get wet too? When we dig down in the dirt to pick up rocks to throw, we get dirt too, right? So be still. Stand upon your watch. It doesn't mean that you are weak. It doesn't mean that you're not capable. It doesn't mean that you're not worthy. It doesn't mean that you're not qualified. It means that standing still speaks volumes. And God's glory is, listen, it's moving around in heaven. Your standing still is moving around in heaven. And payday is coming, I promise you. God is going to pay you back for standing still in the storm. He's going to pay you back for being quiet in the storm. While you rightfully had the power to stop it, you stood still. This is standing still in the storm, yet moving by faith here at the well. God bless you and thank you so much for listening.